Hello and welcome to Pop Culture Shark, a live stream podcast, whatever you want to call it, about all things pop culture. I'm Final Monkey,
And I'm Caleb.
and today we are taking a look in the crystal ball. We got it out of the closet. We've shined it up real nice. We're going to look at the preview of movies coming out this summer. See if we think they'll be any good. Some of these we don't know very much about, but we're really we're kind of excited about what's coming up in the
So, some of
future.
these I'm very excited about. Some of these I just want to make fun of. And that's cool. So
Some of these we know nothing about. So
yes, some of these like we just went through like the Wikipedia pages and we're like, sure, let's talk about it.
yeah. So
and
that'll be
some of these may not even be coming out because they're ones that like, yeah, Ridley Scott said this might be coming out in 2024.
yeah. So who knows? And uh as we've already seen that they're already moving dates all over the place. Like last
Yeah.
week they moved a bunch of these dates. So everything's in
Yeah.
flux. So we don't
There's
know.
one. Funny enough, there's one that's on my list that I am super excited about. That not it didn't get moved; it got removed from the. So like they finished it, it's coming out, but like they had to remove it from the slate, so we don't know when it's coming out.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about it when we get there.
So before we do all that, we are gonna do our weekend checkup. Caleb, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I I started watching Reacher season 2. Have you watched any of Reacher?
No.
Are you familiar with Jack Reacher?
He wasn't that a Tom Cruise movie, and then they made an Amazon show or something. But he's
Yes,
not
yeah.
in the Amazon show. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So Jack Reacher is a book series by Lee Child that's been going for 20 some odd years. Tom Cruise came out with a movie back in like 2014 that was just called Jack Reacher, but that one was based off of I think it was based off of the 9th book. But so Jack Reacher's kind of like James Bond, where like you can just like make whatever book into a movie in whatever order you want, and it's fine. Um, and so that was the 9th movie. Then he came out with the sequel, Never Go Back, which was based off of like the 18th book. The first movie, Jack Reacher, was good. Never Go Back was horrible. And then Amazon got the rights and they decided to make a show out of it that is not connected to Tom Cruise stuff, starring Alan Ritchson, who I love. Got his start on Smallville as Aquaman.
Okay.
And let's see, what else has he done? Oh, he played Raphael, both the voice and the motion capture in the Michael Bay movies.
Okay.
He if you've seen a picture of him, you'd probably recognize him. But he's a cool actor. He's a cool dude. He devout Christian who actually talks about it, which I always appreciate. So I love the first season, which the first season is based off of the first book, and then I love that first season. Second season, I've only just started watching it. It's almost done, so I'll probably catch up to it by the time the last episode comes out. I don't know what number book this one's based off of, but it's pretty good. I think I like the charm of the first season better, but for the most part, it's probably the most dad thing about me is I like to watch Jack Reacher, and I'm not even a dad, but it's like it's a dad show, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
And so like I'll watch it and I'm like, yeah, like
How's the content? Is it PG, R, or MA?
it. I'd say it's TVMA definitely.
Okay.
As far as cursing, I couldn't tell you if they drop any F-bombs. I just can't remember. But there definitely is. blood and violence. Not like gore, but
And violence, I'm usually fine with.
uh, very much like Jack Reacher is is a former MP from the army
Mhm.
who is 6'5", 260
Yeah,
pounds.
I've seen him. He's a big dude.
And so obviously it's going to get pretty physical. You got me curious now. I'm going to look up like
Yeah, it's one of those things like, oh, can I recommend this to my parents, or because if it's language and sexuality is where
Mhm. I I think there's like as far as sexuality, I'm pretty sure it's like the James Bond style where it's like they
implied.
show it. Well, not it's implied, but also like they go as far as they can before they fade to black.
Yeah.
So that's really what I've been doing as pop culture. I've started reading Stardust because I'm still on my like no video games, no social media thing. So just still been reading and whatnot, and working out. So you can go ahead talk about your weekend checkup. Like I said, you got me curious about the I guess I will call it the parental
Yeah, I was gonna say
guide.
the parental guide to
Yeah. So, but yeah, you can go ahead.
yeah.
What's your weekend been?
So for a very long time, I've been following a group on Facebook, the Dallas Vintage Toys, and I was like, I'm gonna go finally check out their store. And I didn't realize how close it was to my house. It's only like 20 minutes away. So me and my youngest went out there. Holy cow, Caleb! If you ever come down here, I am taking you. This is like the first. We'll go here first, then the video game museum second.
So this was like a toy store or
Yes,
okay.
and it's about the size of, let's say, about half the size of a Walgreens. It's a pretty good
Oh, really?
sized store, and it's just like every inch of the store is just covered in toys. Every toy line you could imagine, like multiple complete sets of the original Star Wars action figures.
What's it
GI
called?
Dallas Vintage Toys. They have a YouTube channel and a Facebook group. It was insane. It was.
Usually these stores have like pictures.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Here's the thing. As someone who frequents, toy shops a lot, because we have a couple here in Louisville, and then we got some that we'll drive to up in Cincinnati. As a connoisseur, the let the I'm not gonna say disorganized is the wrong word because they're actually very organized,
Uh-huh.
but it's hard to make all these different size boxes look clean.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I say this, I mean it in a loving way. The more disorganized a place looks for toys, the better it is, 100%.
Oh, it was. I mean, it was just amazing. I mean, we could have spent hours in there. We didn't have enough time to really go through everything.
Oh my
But
god, look at that sign. They don't that's
you can
brilliant.
pull it up on screen.
Yeah, I'm going to. They don't even
They have a
they don't
like
even
we thought
try
we
with
were
the
we were
sign.
thought we
This
were
is
done with the
great.
store, and then we turned around to leave, and we saw there was a whole nother back room with a painting of the entrance of Castle Grayskull, and we went back there, and it was like back there was all the graded figures, like old GI Joe figures, Star Wars figures, the aircraft carrier from GI Joe, like everything was back there. We were just like,
This
oh
is
my
this is
gosh,
the place, right?
yes.
You know what? I'd never thought of it, but graded figures make sense. I never thought of that.
Yeah. It's wild.
Oh! By the way, this is another telltale sign. Like I said, as a figure and toy store connoisseur. Let me find the one that's closer. Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, wait, I have it right here. These bags.
Yes, they had a whole section of those.
Yeah,
And then
like
they had Like over the corner,
loose figures in these bags. That's always a good sign.
over the corner, they did have some video game collectibles. They had like Atari ET 20, the Atari 2600 ET
Oh yeah.
cartridge in there and stuff. And
Oh, these places are cool because like they'll have look at
yeah, I
that.
know. I did not know Slimer had a butt until I was there.
Look at the dump truck.
Yeah, that was probably my biggest discovery while I was there.
But anyway.
Oh yeah, go back up. Go back up to that Slimer picture right there. You see the wall behind it?
Oh, gotcha.
That's an entrance to another room back there. And you walk through Castle Grayskull, and it's got like the dungeon painted on the floor from the old toy set and stuff. It's really cool.
Is this Jeffrey?
That is, or Geoffrey as I call him. But yes, that is him. I didn't even notice there was stuff on the ceiling. That's how distracted I was by.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Unless it changed, I was too busy looking down to look up to see that the ceiling was painted.
If you go shopping, you're not typically looking at the ceiling unless like you're going to rob the place and you're looking for cameras.
Yeah.
But yeah, these places typically they'll have like so there's there's a place up in Cincinnati that has like Atari games, and so they have like a complete inbox and it's in pretty good condition. Empire Strikes Back on Atari 2600. So like these places, this really does. I mean, this place, I think, just from the pictures, it looks a lot bigger and a lot more roomy. But it very similar to the place that we have up in Cincinnati, the toy department.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, go back up one.
No, I'm looking at the Jawas.
Yeah. He was missing an eye when I saw him, so some kid had gotten a hold of him. But yeah,
that's hilarious. It was wicked.
Yeah, if you go up, there's the aircraft carrier that the kids my age we all wanted. It's massive GI Joe aircraft carrier.
Okay, I was about to ask, was it like branded or was it just like every kid wanted a generic?
No, it was USS Flag. Yeah, it's if you were jealous of kids who got that toy.
You know what's insane? We live in a world where kids would not give two craps about a full-size helicarrier set.
I know. It's crazy because they had more set up when I was there. It's got all the jets parked on there and GI Joes everywhere all over it.
So so it's like
yeah,
this is the cover, this is the poster.
Like the jet toy was huge, the jet for the Joes, and then there was a place to park it. It's insane.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love the ATSTs. Did they have like the Barbie section fully stocked for the movie or something?
They had a pink aisle, but it was only like half the aisle, and I think they didn't have as much now as they did in this picture. So maybe it got cleared out after the Barbie movie. I don't know what people came in and buying stuff. But yeah, just really cool store.
Is that a pinball machine back there?
Yeah, it's a Ninja Turtle pinball machine.
Okay.
I think it was the first picture of the whole thing when you pulled it up, but yeah, just an insane toy store.
Oh my God. Okay. So as far as Kenner toys, I respect them. Their robes and capes have always annoyed me.
Oh yeah. And the lightsabers, how they came out of there. I mean, it was a cool idea that the lightsaber came out of their hand, but
yeah. Well, I mean, my dad is the poster child for that because I mean, he whenever he would like when I was a kid, he was a youth pastor, but he'd also like have a week in children's church, and so whenever I was a kid, he would use this as a like, I don't remember what like don't steal, don't lie, whatever it was, but like he lost his Luke Skywalker lightsaber because the Return of the Jedi ones, were just like lightsabers, and so like he like opened one of them like in
those
in
guys.
I know. He also used to steal Mr. Goodbars. He doesn't like Mr. Goodbars anymore because it puts a bad taste of sin in his mouth. But yeah, my dad is the poster child for we need to have these lightsabers come out of their hands. Oh, how is their DC collection? You can always tell if a store is good if their DC collection is really good.
DC collection. I'm sure they had them. They had to have. They had like every toy imaginable. They had a lot of loose figures that I didn't dig through. So
this is funny. Just like we got Mario, we got Metal Sonic, we got the Hunchback of Notre Dame, we got Syndrome, Aladdin, and Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah,
this is the type of organization that I'm talking about.
Yeah, well,
no, I love it. I love it. Oh, Marv. Daddy, can I have a Marv figure?
Please.
Sit down on Santa's lap. I would like a Marv. Oh no, I want Ghost in the Shell. Oh man. Who's this G.I. Joe? This looks like Moon Knight.
Is that Storm Shadow?
That's a really cool looking Storm Shadow. I've never seen that.
It may be because I know later he had the hood and the black mask. So
oh, we got the Oscar Mayer wiener. Look at that. Yeah. Have you seen the Tim the Tim Robinson hot dog sketch?
I don't think so.
I'll have to send it to you. Essentially, it's like an SNL digital sketch, but it's on his own show on Netflix. Where like there's this like store and a hot dog car crashes into the store, and they're like, "Who did this? We got to find this person." And then Tim Robinson, who plays it, he's like, "Yeah, show yourself," and he's dressed as a hot dog. Who did this? We got to find this person. So I'll send that to you. Also, I don't know if I've said this enough. Wedge Antilles is the greatest pilot in Star Wars.
Yeah, and well, I don't want to wish it into existence. The fact that we don't have a Rogue Squadron series is a crime. But
like, as far as a
Wedge series with at least a Disney Plus series or something. But like I said, I don't want it now.
I mean, Patty Jenkins was coming out with one.
Yeah.
What, and you know what? That's where here's the thing. That is where I will give Lucasfilm a good hallelujah. Is they know when to cancel. So that
was the news. The Mandalorian movie. We couldn't think of the news.
That's what it was. Mandalorian and Grogu. Yes. Which that is the out of anyone that they have announced, I'm like, that one's actually going to happen.
And apparently, according to WW Pro, what he's hearing, this is like a trilogy. Like this will be the first part, and then maybe go into Dave Filoni's movie, his movie of Mando characters, and then into something else.
I feel like Dave Filoni's would be the last one, though.
Maybe there's 2 Mando parts and then the Dave Filoni part. I don't know.
Okay.
Or worst case scenario, it's Mando movie first, Dave Filoni, and then the Rey movie finishes the trilogy.
That would be far-fetched, though, because you've got like the Dave Filoni movie, and then the third in the trilogy is like 20 years later.
Off. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Unless this is the story of Grogu, and then when he shows up in the Rey movie, he's an old, like a armor bound, not old, but he has the Mandalorian
older armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, this place looks cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Also, to answer your question, so according to IMDb, it definitely is TVMA. You maybe not your parents.
Okay, just curious. What else? I finally started reading the rest of my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle books because I couldn't find anything cool at the library. So I'm past issue 100 where there's a dip in quality, and it's all right. But I did order the rest of the Turtle books last night, and Astro City Volume 1 is on its way.
Yes. Okay, so quick question. You said that big news, he gave up on Jujutsu Kaisen. What about Vinland Saga? I know you were reading that too.
I'm waiting for the library to find volume 3. It's missing or it's checked out or something. Every time I go, they don't have it.
Okay, but like, have you read the first two, or you just?
Yeah, I read the first 2. I don't know what I like it, but I don't know which characters to get to attached to.
Gotcha.
There's definitely a main character that we're following his plot, but I was like, oh, I kind of like his captor. Like, oh, maybe he has a heart of gold, and then they just brutally murdered all these villagers. I'm like, oh wait, these are Vikings. I'm not supposed to be liking these people. So yeah, I'm still on board for that one. And like I think IGN voted their anime the best anime of last year or something. So I may just switch to the anime at some point because library only has like the first 5 volumes.
That's Vinland Saga.
Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, like, I know people say Jujutsu Kaisen as far as an anime is phenomenal too. So I don't know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen. It felt like subpar to other bigger animes like Chainsaw Man or Naruto. It was okay. I felt like there was too many characters and they were just constantly explaining the powers over and over and over, and I was just like, okay, I don't care.
You see, that's what I love about JoJo's is like they'll barely explain the powers once, and just like if you don't get it, too bad. Just watch the fight.
Yeah, like I don't need to know. Like, okay, Goku's spirit bomb absorbs the souls
Boom.
of boom. Yeah, okay. We played it once, and now we're just gonna do it. We're gonna take 10 episodes for it to charge up, but we're gonna do it now. Yeah,
And Naruto turns into sexy lady. I get it. So
yeah.
And then try to explain King Crimson to someone. No, I'm not even gonna try. Just watch it and enjoy it.
You ever think about how like strict Cartoon Network is like during the day now, and they're like, oh, they used to air Naruto during the day where he was constantly doing harem attacks and whatever.
Well, and and Jiraiya his nose would constantly bleed.
Yeah. That's so weird.
And then you also think about and this has to do with like your censorship companies and which I mean, there's a lot going on there too currently that I don't feel like getting into. But like you have Naruto, but then side by side with like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, where they censor a lot of stuff in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because that's for kids.
Yeah.
So
or like Bobo Bobo was airing. Yeah, it's crazy.
Get those Japanese words off of me. I always love that.
I watched that show for a long time. I never knew what was going on. But
I mean, like, I only watched it because it came on after Zatch Bell. That's right. I watched Zatch Bell, but that's because it came on. I watched Zatch Bell because that came on after Naruto. I watched that because it came after Dragon Ball GT, and I watched that because it came on after Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
You know what ruined Naruto for me?
The fact that there was never a winner for the Chunin exams.
That I looked up the actors for the American version, and that's all. We'll talk about this later off air. But I looked like I was watching interviews with the actors, and I was like,
"Oh, is it kind of like What's Going On?"
No. It's not. It has nothing to do with what they said. It was just what I saw who was voicing certain people. I was like, oh, now I'll forever see this person when I'll just go ahead and say it. The Naruto actor. It looks like an old lunch lady voice. It was just like, okay, now I can't see the old.
All right, I gotta see. I'm not gonna. We're not putting anyone on blast, but I want to see. Oh my god, you're spot on.
It just I can't. Every time I hear that voice now, I see her face because I saw her doing the voice, and it's over.
That's funny.
Oh, I'm sure she's a lovely lady. It's
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
she's a great voice actress. It's just sometimes what you see Mark Hamill doing the Joker, you see Mark Hamill when you hear the Joker's voice, and it just happens.
I have that trouble with Invincible because I saw like a thing where like all three of them were in the same room acting it out, and I'm
Mhm.
like, because like just watching Omni Man, I can remove J.K. Simmons from it, but whenever I see
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons doing the voice, I'm like,
Yep.
that's that's Dr. Emil Skoda from Law and Order. That's Will Pope from The Closer. Those are the
Yeah.
two things that I grew up with him, but like those are the two things. Like,
Oh yeah, he was on Law and Order.
yeah.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
No, and here's the thing. Of course, I also grew up with him as J. Jonah Jameson, but I was a dumb kid, and a mustache does a lot.
Hmm.
So, so it never like occurred to me that that's who that was. So whenever I hear his voice, like on Omni Man, I'm not hearing J. Jonah Jameson. I'm hearing like Will Pope from The Closer.
Yeah, we could. People complain about like Superman, Secret Identity, Clark Kent, the glasses. That
Yeah, it works.
it works because the reason we think it's dumb is we like, oh, he has a secret identity. People in Metropolis don't know Superman has a secret identity. They're not looking
Yeah.
for him. They're just like, oh, it's just the guy that flies around all the time. I'm sure he does this 24/7. He doesn't have another life. And I mean, the only one that should be dumb is Lois. She, although the one who portrayed it best, I think, was All Star Superman. The way he drew him differently, like he was always hunched over as
Mhm.
Clark Kent, and just different body posture and
Well, I think that's when did All Star come out?
It's been a while. I mean, I'm sure it was in the
Was
2000s, but
okay. So if that's the case, then that's not even All Star. That's totally Christopher Reeves. Like
oh
Christopher
yeah,
Reeves,
Christopher
like
Reeves.
he did the posture thing.
Yeah, and he was so bumbling that you were like, oh, there's no way this is Superman. He's such a klutz, and he's always like he's like nervous to talk,
Yeah.
and it's just
My favorite is man, hair color does the same thing. Like I was watching Law and Order yesterday. I was watching Criminal Intent with Vincent D'Onofrio, which first of all, hair does a lot too. He looks completely different in Daredevil.
oh
um,
yeah.
um, but there was this episode about like a murdered ballerina, and one of the suspects was Melissa Benoist, who at this point had like brunette hair, but now
Mhm.
she's Supergirl with blonde hair. She looks completely different. Like, I mean, I call it the eyebrow theory because it's like you don't understand how one thing is so important to your look until it's taken away. Uh, rest in peace, John Panette, who was a comedian. He said, "When you have no eyebrows, people don't know what's wrong."
Yeah. He also said, "You'll be here for an hour."
You'll be you frighten my wife.
You go now.
What is it? It's all you can eat, not you eat all.
He
Oh
was
man,
awesome.
I love him.
All right,
Uh,
let's get off the show. We've
yeah,
talked enough about the weekend. So we're coming out of a writer strike and an actor strike, and a lot of movies have been shuffled around. I sent Caleb a list of films. I don't remember what I put on the list, so some of these will be a surprise to me as they get
we're just
pulled
gonna
up.
go through them in the order that I put them, which it for the most part should generally be the order in which they're coming out in. Some of them within the past couple days have been moved.
Yeah, everything's in flux. We think these are all coming out this year. We don't
Yeah.
know. They don't know. We don't know if we're getting Deadpool this year. I'm going to put that on the table. I can see that get delayed.
There's only, you know what? There's only one thing that we are for sure of, and that is, let me get it pulled up. The only thing that we're for sure of is ISS is coming out this Tuesday.
Yes, yes.
That's all we know.
This is the International Space Station, and I've only seen the trailers. I haven't read up on this.
Yeah, all I've seen is it's a cool idea.
Yeah, basically, it looks like from the trailer there's been some catastrophe on Earth. It looks like nuclear war has started on Earth.
It gives me a what if Red Dawn happened now, and how would the International Space Station take it?
Yeah, and there's a similar plot line in 2010, not 2001, the sequel 2010 in the movie, where they just tell them you all can't have communication with each other, America and Russia, on the space station. You have to go to this side, they have to go to that side. Like there's a line down the middle of the room. They just can't talk to each other. This one though is they get orders that you have to take the station from the Russians. The Russians get orders they have to take it from the Americans, and it's all out war on the space station.
So the interesting thing to me is if you watch the trailer, you actually don't see the Russians get their orders. It's the Americans get their orders, and they're talking about like, well, these are our because these are our friends. You know, we see them every day, but these are our orders. Do you think they got orders too? Maybe. At least that's.
I hope the movie doesn't make clear. Oh yeah, the Russians got the orders. I hope it's more like we don't know. It's just paranoia.
Yeah. Like I need their. This movie has so much. There's so much opportunity for nuance, but there's so much opportunity for, as Cameron would say, what is subtext.
Yeah.
That's something that Cameron came up with because another thing we did over the weekend is we showed my friend who was showing all the bad Marvel movies too. We showed him Thor: Love and Thunder, and every time someone would like explain their feelings, Cameron's like, "What is subtext, anyways?" Like, so this could be a really nuanced film. This could also be the most boring propaganda film for America ever.
Yeah. I have no idea, but the trailer looked interesting.
It looks interesting. I mean, I think the most interesting thing, and this is one thing that I'm certain of, and if they don't do this, then these are bad filmmakers, and I will say they are bad filmmakers if this happens. In the trailer, you see the fire, and that's it. I don't want them to ever show what's going on Earth.
Like, yeah, I was thinking, do we want a scene where, what was that movie, Gravity, where Sandra Bullock crash lands to the Earth at the end? You don't want one of the astronauts crashing to Earth at the end and surviving or something? Like the whole station gets destroyed.
No, so I don't want this to be like and now I'm just putting my once on the film that is coming out in 2 days that I may or may not be seeing. But I don't know. I think that with this movie, you could like. So show, don't tell is important, right? Yeah. I think tell, don't show can also be used really.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like it's left up to your imagination what is happening down there.
Yeah. So like I definitely that's like the fire, like you being able to see the nuclear fire. That's all you need. Like you don't need to actually see anything. You don't need to see Judgment Day.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, that definitely looks interesting. What do we got next? Oh, I'm so excited for this movie. I'm so excited for Argyle. I love Henry Cavill. I love Bryce Dallas Howard. This is a Matthew Vaughn, who did Kick-Ass and Kingsman.
Mm-hmm.
And the most important thing, I love Sam Rockwell.
Oh yeah, it's a good cast. Basically, Bryce Dallas Howard is a writer who writes about I guess he's a secret agent.
Yeah.
And then spies actually start trying to kill her because she's somehow predicting things are actually happening in the real world before they happen, and everybody's trying to kill her, and she has a cat. And Sam Rockwell is trying to protect her.
Yeah, and the character in her book is played by Henry Cavill and his sidekick John Cena.
Yeah.
With the Bond girl Dua Lipa. It's so, I mean, like, Matthew Vaughn has just got a style that I love, you know?
Yeah.
And it's so easy to point out too. Like, you can tell this is Matthew Vaughn.
Yeah. So, this looks fun. His movies are hit or miss, but when they hit really hard. So,
I can only think of one that's a miss, honestly.
Well, I've only seen the first Kingsman, and then I've heard people say, "Oh, don't mess with the second one."
The second one's good. I like the second one. The only one that I think is, like, because he also did X-Men First Class as well, which is so I think objectively, First Class is probably the best X-Men movie. But you got to take into account that I love Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I love Brian Cox. So it's probably X2. But objectively, First Class is probably the best of the X-Men movies. I think his only miss is probably Kick-Ass 2.
Okay. So and there's going to be some twists about, is Henry Cavill's character real or not? The trailer seems to be like he actually does exist or something. I don't know.
Let me introduce you to the real Agent Argyle.
He's going to be like a nerdy guy. Yeah.
No. It's going to be him, but he's hunched over with glasses.
She's like, this isn't.
All right. Let's see. Oh, good.
Madam Web. Okay, so
can we talk about how this is the worst poster ever?
Yeah, it's okay. I saw a post yesterday. It said that Jamie Lee Curtis should be playing Madam Web, and I 100% agree.
That would have been so good. So Jamie Lee Curtis, or because apparently this is supposed to be like a Terminator movie, like Linda Hamilton, or like if you really want to go hard in on that, But no, I mean Jamie Lee Curtis, I could totally see as Madam Web.
So I've been seeing a lot more images of them in their costume. How long do you think the four girls are in their costumes in this movie?
I would assume. Okay, so Dakota Johnson. We don't see her costume like with the blindfold or anything until the end.
Okay.
Jessica Carpenter, Spider-Woman. She's only in costume in her intro scene. And the other two don't have enough screen time to warrant it. Like,
so my prediction is she's gonna have a vision of the future where they're all wearing their costumes, and that's it. Like, they never wear their costumes in the whole movie.
Oh man. But here's the thing. I'm actually very excited for this movie.
Okay.
For reasons. I'm 27.
A hot-blooded male.
Yes, I am. And you've got Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney, and that's all I need to know. I'm a very simple man.
Okay.
The Ezekiel thing still pisses me off.
Yeah.
And I think his costume is even worse.
Yeah. It's this is another Sony movie trying to make a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man in it, though he's sort of in this.
I don't know why Madam Web was like, yeah, that's who we should do.
I just think this is the one that got past the script stage. I think a lot of them are in development hell and they can't figure it out. And this one was like, oh, it's Terminator. Got it. Green light.
like I go back to the 90s and tell someone that we're getting a Madam Web movie before Black Cat movie.
Here's what you. Oh yeah, yeah. Like what? Like as soon show them the Spider-Man animated series of Madam Web in the chair, the old lady. Say she's gonna have a series before Black Cat. What?
Yeah.
I here's an idea for you, Sony. They used to make a lot of what do you call them, anthology movies where it's like a bunch of short stories.
Yeah, vignettes.
Yeah, they would do like Twilight Zone the movie or Tales of the Dark Side the movie, where it's just a bunch of little short stories that are like loosely connected.
Yeah, more recently Sin City and Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Make a movie called The Daily Bugle, where it's just them going over different news reports about how villains got their powers or their tragic backstories. And then that's your movie. And then like maybe one of the villains is holding them hostage and have to outsmart them at the end. But it's just a series of short stories about the villains. So you can just show off different villains. And then you don't even have to include Spider-Man. You can mention Spider-Man saying, oh, hopefully Spider-Man's going to show up or something. Or, at the end, the villain's just webbed up. And they didn't even see what happened because they were too busy telling stories or something. You could tell Spider-Man stories and get away with this. I just don't know if they can be a whole movie for 2 hours without Spider-Man,
Yeah. I will say one thing. If this movie takes place majority in New York, it's already got a one-up on Tom Holland Spider-Man for me. Because, go back to the 90s and say, hey, we got a trilogy of Spider-Man movies that barely take place in New York.
The third Tom Holland movie is great.
Yeah. And guess what? That one actually takes place in New York.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's the farther away you get from New York, the worse it gets. And that's why Far From Home is the worst Spider-Man movie that's ever been made.
Moving on. What is next on our list?
Yes, Dune Part 2. Did you see the first Dune movie?
Yeah, me and my youngest went to the IMAX to see it. Yeah.
What did you think of it?
It's not that they made a plot change. They just kind of left it out of the movie about why a character betrayed them, the motivations and stuff. And so the movie just didn't make sense why it was such a big deal, why they betrayed them. But other than that, I thought the movie was fine. It kind of ended as it was starting to get going, which was going to happen. We do a part 1 of 2. I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was like the greatest thing ever.
I've tried to watch this recently.
Mm-hmm.
So the first time I watched it, I'm like, okay, that was pretty good. It's a little slow. And that was what I thought. I tried to watch it recently. I couldn't do it. This is, at least the first movie was so boring. I really hope that stuff happens in this one.
Oh, this is going to be all out war and chaos. It may take us a few minutes to get to the war, but it'll be crazy. Yeah. It's hard to tell how well this movie's going to do because the first one was one of those movies they released on HBO and at the movies at the same time. So we're not even sure how great the first one did. So this could do $1 billion. It could do 300 million. We don't know.
I don't see this being $1 billion movie, honestly.
I think this might be the first year in a long time where we don't have $1 billion movie this year. See, you're trying to think of one. Maybe Godzilla and King Kong.
No.
See,
no.
Deadpool 3-1. It's a rated R.
But what if? What if it's Deadpool though? What if not only is it a $1 billion movie, but it is the first R-rated $1 billion movie?
Because Deadpool 2 didn't do that well. It would have to because most trilogies they go down as
This
oh,
this isn't a trilogy. We got to accept it. This is not a trilogy. Deadpool
this is
3
more of an X-Men. This is more of a Fox reunion movie. Like if the trailer show like everybody's in this, and I don't know if they are or not, but like all the Fox characters are in this, then yeah, maybe like it has like a Marvel Civil War effect, or Endgame, or Infinity War effect. All right, well,
you know what? I said we weren't going to talk about Deadpool.
Yeah, every movie we'll talk about Deadpool. That's why we looked up this.
Okay, so this movie, If Imaginary Friends.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends?
Yes.
I'd rather be watching that cartoon than this movie.
The thing about this trailer, this is about what if imaginary friends are real. When I saw the trailer, they're like from the imaginary mind of, and I can't think of his name right now.
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski, like, oh my gosh, he had this amazing idea. I'm like, yeah, so did Craig McCracken when he made Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends 20 years ago or whatever. This is literally Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, the movie. And less interesting.
like Blue, Eduardo, Coco, Wilt. I mean, like this. These are the characters that I want to see in live action.
Yeah, this. So I mean, this could be your $1 billion movie. If this caught on, like, oh my gosh, this movie's incredible, everybody loves it. I don't see it happening, but stranger things have happened. You know, I'm just saying, like the Barbie effect, something kicks in where we're not expecting it, and
we did expect it for Barbie though, because here's the thing: Barbenheimer did a lot for film.
Yeah. And Barbie's been a franchise for 80 years or whatever, or a toy line for 80 years. So
you know what? I guarantee you that's going to catch on, because if you remember, The Dark Knight and Mamma Mia came out on the same day. Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing came out on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you that like film studios are going to start this trying to catch on the Barbenheimer effect. Like they're going to try to do it intentionally, and it's not going to work.
No, it kind of has to happen organically. You can't force it.
But yeah,
I have nothing else to say about this other than we've seen it before on Cartoon Network, and like you said, I'd rather be watching Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends than this.
I think the funniest episode, by the way, if we're going to talk about it, do you remember the episode where they went to the mall just to like walk around?
It's been a while. I don't remember that specific episode.
So I love that episode because what happens is like I think they're looking for like, you know, like birthday presents for like Madame Foster or something. And like everyone's got their own side stories, and Blue keeps getting stopped by like the kiosk people and keeps kicking them in the shins. And I'm like, I want to do that too. Kiosk people, I know that's, you know, how you make your living, but you are annoying. So yeah, we got. Oh, okay. So I have some stuff to say about this one.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. You say your piece, and I'll say my piece. Go ahead.
This doesn't feel like a sequel to me.
Okay.
Never before have I seen a movie get an expansion pack before. But this feels like this. Like this feel like there's Warcraft 3, and then there's Warcraft 3: The Frozen Throne. You've got Wrath of the Lich King. You've got Undead Nightmare, Festival of the Dead. Like this feels like a DLC. Like, this doesn't feel like a sequel to me. This just feels like an expansion pack.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I don't know if I fully agree, but I do see what you're saying. This just feels like, as I've said before, I grew up watching the real Ghostbusters animated series, and they were constantly having different adventures like this. So it just feels like, oh, it's another episode of the real Ghostbusters where here's a new threat. This is my most anticipated movie of the year
Okay.
out of everything. Huge Ghostbusters fan, and seeing the cover of Empire magazine of everybody back in their uniforms, and Janine also in a Ghostbusters uniform got me super excited. There's a couple episodes of the animated series where she suits up, so that's really cool nod. And looks like Slimer's back, and my one annoyance is that the stupid Stay Puft creatures are back again. That's something they should just leave alone at this point.
I still haven't seen Afterlife, so I don't know what you're talking about.
You haven't seen Afterlife?
We've talked about this. I'm not a Ghostbusters fan. Like, I love the first movie, and I'm content with that.
Well, Afterlife feels like it's a direct sequel to the first movie. I mean, you could talk about the second movie, but it kind of ignores it.
So Cameron and I, because Cameron and I are the ones that have been making fun of this movie. And like, by making fun, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a fine movie, but it is funny that Cameron and I both get the feeling that this is an expansion pack than an actual sequel. We have actually, we came up with a list of expansion packs that are specifically Ice themed, because it happens a lot.
Oh yeah.
So you have Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne. You have World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King, Destiny 2, Beyond Light, Monster Hunter World, Iceborne, and Batman Arkham Origins, Cold Heart.
And then even Donkey Kong Country Returns did an
Tropical Freeze, yeah. No, I mean, like, like, you put the word king in here. You've got the Taken King, you've got the Ruined King, you've got, Wrath of the Lich King. If this was like the Frozen King, all bets are off. This is the greatest expansion ever.
I'm just happy that we're getting more Ghostbusters movies. This should be a way bigger franchise than it is, and that's Bill Murray's fault for refusing to do sequels all throughout the years. They tried to do a Ghostbusters 3 for so long.
I see Kate McKinnon in the trailer?
No.
I didn't?
No.
Okay. For some reason, I thought I saw one of the characters from the...
No, she plays the mom, not Kate McKinnon, but it's the mom from the last movie. You didn't watch Afterlife, so you don't know what I'm talking about. So
no. Okay, so is it like a Ghostbusters multiverse, and the girl Ghostbusters are like in their own multiverse, or what?
I think that's what the comic books have said. They haven't said that in the movies. That's the Girl Busters movie is its own little separate universe.
Is Girl Busters like Spider-Gwen, where it's like that's not her name but that's kind of what we're gonna call them?
Yes.
Gotcha. Give me a second. You've got me curious as to who plays the mom, because maybe
I can't think of her name. You really should watch Afterlife. It's great. My biggest issue with Afterlife is it's not streaming like on anything other than like Stars, if it is streaming, and so I've been wanting to watch it again, and it's been really hard to watch again. She keeps getting top billing, whoever it is, for some reason. She's not the main character, but it's usually her name listed first in the credits.
Okay. Carrie Coon. Unfortunate name. I apologize. Yeah, she kind of looks like Kate McKinnon. I couldn't tell you where I've seen her before.
Okay.
Proxima Midnight in Infinity War. Of course.
Yes.
But I wouldn't. Obviously, I wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
And of course, she's been in episodes of Law and Order, just like everybody else.
Everybody who's ever stepped foot in New York has been on an episode of Law and Order, even Kevin Smith.
Okay, I've been in an episode of Law and Order. I'm not even joking, because there's one time when we were living in New Jersey, we were walking around Rockefeller Center, and they were filming an episode, and we got shot.
I don't know if it's bystander in the background.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a shot they use, but I'm going to keep telling people that I'm in an episode of Law and Order. I couldn't tell you what episode it is. Okay, so yes, the first ever film expansion pack. Okay, Godzilla -1 has spoiled me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a movie that's coming out.
So I've been on a Godzilla kick here recently because I wanted to see -1. I didn't get to, so I'm trying to watch other Godzilla movies, and they're not quite scratching that itch for me.
I still haven't seen Shin. Have you seen Shin yet? I haven't seen it.
No, I want to see Shin Godzilla. Yeah, I watched Final Wars, and it was like,
is Final Wars the one that has Sum 41 as the final fight song?
I don't think so. Final Wars, it's kind of like watching an episode of Power Rangers for an hour. Then they realize, oh yeah, Godzilla's in this movie, and then they put Godzilla in the movie. It's mostly about the Earth Defense Force fighting aliens, like with kung fu for the first hour.
That sounds awesome.
You would think that. You would think that sounds awesome. I don't know, if we do another He Made Me Do It Godzilla edition, I might make you watch that one. It's on Hulu. I have not watched any of the American Godzilla films except for Kong Skull Island. So I'm probably gonna watch these here before this movie comes out and see if I'm into them or not.
So according to everyone else, Skull Island is the best of the series. Me personally, I prefer King of the Monsters because I've seen that recently and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about this. Just that I'll probably be on the Godzilla train by the time this comes out.
Oh, here it is. Okay, I was looking up Final Wars. The film featured the track "We're All to Blame" by Sum 41 during the battle between Godzilla and Zilla. The band received top billing in the opening credits.
Yeah, there was this crazy rock music that started playing when they fought. Yeah. The fight lasts 20 seconds though, so you don't hear much of the song.
Yeah, no, that's Sum 41. I grew up with Sum 41. I love Sum 41.
Yeah.
So that's you know what, you're describing this movie as if it's really bad, but it's got Sum 41, and you said Power Rangers. It sounds like
I would say it's bad. It's kind of schizophrenic. You don't know what this movie is trying to be. It's all over the place, and a lot of the fights only last like 20 seconds because they have so many monsters in it that we have to hurry up. We gotta get to the next monster.
That's kind of what Thor: Love and Thunder is like. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we're talking about
one of the main characters is a literal MMA fighter, and he doesn't speak Japanese, and it's like they put Sergeant Slaughter in the movie as their main character, or Hagar from was it Final Fight or whatever movie games he's from? The big
yeah,
Mayor Hagar,
Mayor Mike Hagar.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, he started off in Final Fight and then got really big in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah. Picture him if he was carrying around a samurai sword the whole movie that he never uses.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I still think that I want like there to be like I feel like John Cena could like actually pull off like the Johnny Cage type of movie, like where it's like an action movie where he plays himself and he's got superpowers. Like I've always thought that like take the "You Don't See Me" literally. Like he's super fast so you can't even see him. Like I've always thought that John Cena could pull off a movie where he just plays himself in an action role.
You know what it is about Godzilla? I think I like the idea of Godzilla. I love the character designs. I love the characters. I just don't
Okay.
like watching Godzilla movies. It's like the fights
Maybe,
go on too long, and it's just kind of
maybe.
like,
I don't know. I don't know. Power Rangers wasn't your generation. That was my generation. But whenever I would stay over at your all's house, I would force you to watch Power Rangers with me. So,
uh, yeah.
and you know what? Even as a kid, I'm like, yeah, I can tell he's not digging this. I was like,
I don't
I
mind
was like
monsters
7.
smashing
I was like
cardboard
7, and
buildings, but I don't want to watch 2 hours of a monster smashing a cardboard building.
you know what? I think that's what's really good about -1 is like it's barely even about that.
Yeah.
-1 is a war film.
Yeah, and every documentary and list I've watched on YouTube says you have to watch the first Godzilla. Like the first Godzilla movie is incredible, the ones in black and white. So it's on HBO Max. So I'm gonna get around to watching that one day.
I might have to do that myself too. All right. Oh, and also I've never cared about any sort of King Kong movie, and that will not change.
Like Nintendo, I thought King Kong and Donkey Kong were the same character when I was a little kid. So when I would watch King Kong movies, I'd be trying to figure out who Mario was the whole movie. So
Okay, so this is not the movie poster. This is actually the book Mickey 7. The movie is going to be called Mickey 17. This is the film that just got removed from the slate like 2 days ago. I'm really excited for this movie. This is actually I respect so much that I want to be able to get his name right. This is a film by Bong Joon-ho.
oh,
Are you familiar
okay.
with
Yes.
Snowpiercer and Parasite?
And the better film, Host. Host is a much better film than Parasite.
Okay,
But
okay.
continue.
Starring Stephen Yeun, Toni Collette, and Robert Pattinson in the lead role of Mickey. Mickey 17 is an expendable. Mickey 17 is an expendable, a disposable employee on a human expedition sent to colonize the ice world Niflheim. After one iteration dies, a new body is regenerated with most of his memories intact. And that's all we know about this movie.
Yeah, that I can't remember how to say his name, but that director is awesome. Um, in fact, one of my plans is to start watching. Like I have a list of movies I've been making this year that I want to watch, and I definitely want to go back and watch some of his older films. Like I said, The Host is really, really good. It was on Freebie or Tubi for the longest time, and now it's not. So if that pops up again for free, I'll let you know and definitely check that one out. It's one of those movies that Quentin Tarantino said was his favorite movie of all time or something. So, yeah, I'm definitely on board for this.
Yeah. And let's just thank God that Robert Pattinson, like, people don't even remember that he was Edward Cullen anymore. Like, who cares?
I remember, but I'll allow it.
And I love Stephen Yeun. We were just talking about Invincible, and I love Walking Dead whenever he was in it.
Do you think he really had scheduling conflicts to drop out of Thunderbolts, or do you think he was like, I got to get out of this Marvel universe as fast as possible?
Oh, that is a good question. I gotta be honest, I don't know, because we had someone else recently who used scheduling conflicts to get out of a film, and that one was obviously because they didn't want to do the film, and that was Jenna Ortega for Scream 7 because they fired her co-star.
Mm-hmm.
And
There were
so
some statements, yeah,
there were some statements made, and so in solidarity for her co-star, oh, I can't do this one because I got scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
But very obvious that, and so I mean, it wouldn't be the first time this year that that excuse was used.
Hmm.
I still think that Stephen Yeun could play Dick Grayson. I want to see him as
Oh
Nightwing.
yeah, yeah, that would be cool.
Um, so yeah, Mickey Seven. So the book is called Mickey Seven. The movie is called Mickey 17. Really excited about it.
Cool.
Okay, I just put this together today. Well, I put I put my list together earlier this week, and then I put the ones that you added. What is this? Help me out. I don't have no idea.
Have you seen the trailer for this?
No.
So this is basically a modern day civil war has broken out, and I think it's Kirsten Dunst is like a reporter going from region to region, and what is his name? The guy from Parks and Recs, the one with the mustache.
Nick Offerman.
Yes, he's playing the president. So I don't know if he's supposed to be. I don't know if he's supposed to be like Donald Trump. I'm not sure.
I always
how
thought that Nick.
politically-
I always thought Nick Offerman could play Mike Hagger.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how politically charged it is, but it's like chaos. Like
You got in a movie like this. This has got to be a politically charged movie. What are you talking about?
well,
Of
I mean,
course it is.
not politically charged. I don't know if it's going to be like taking shots at the current elected officials, like Trump or whatever. But basically, in the trailer, they say that the California region and the Texas region have joined forces, and I'm like, no, that would never happen. California and Texas would never ever join forces.
Yeah, at first I'm like, well, obviously it's going to be, politically charged. Obviously it's going to be talking about what's going on today, and then you bring up
California and Texas,
California and Texas, and I'm like, oh, I have no idea.
and they say like the Florida region has been destroyed. I can't remember how many regions they said there are. There's like 7 or 9 regions that the country is split up into, and
Florida being destroyed, I buy that absolutely. In the near future, a team of journalists travel across the United States during a rapidly escalating civil war that has engulfed the entire nation, struggling to survive during a time when the government has become a dystopian dictatorship and partisan extremist militias regularly commit political violence.
And there's one real quick clip in the trailer where Nick Offerman is hiding under the desk in the White House Oval Office, and the armed soldiers are trying to drag him away, and he's like screaming, and I don't know.
I would not be okay. I'll go ahead and make this prediction. This movie is politically charged and insults both sides.
Could be.
The actual elected officials are going to be based off of Republicans, and it's going to be making fun of the Republican the actual representatives. But these militias that are committing political violence are going to be Democrats, and it's making fun of Democrat hypocrisy.
Maybe if it's I don't know. There's a smart way to do this, and there's really a aggravating way to do this. We'll see what we get.
I will say one thing: I trust Alex Garland. I love his work, so
yeah,
that.
And it's an A24 movie, so who knows?
Yeah, Alex Garland was actually supposed to write the Halo movie, and it would have been amazing, and it would have been better than what we have now. Okay, yeah, this is definitely an odd one, and
I'm just intrigued by it. I don't know if it's something I'll ever watch, but I'm intrigued.
This poster is very provocative. I'll give it that. Okay, so this movie is like Argyle, but also like, actually, you know what this movie reminds me of? So The Fall Guy, with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. Good News Boys. There's a new Literally Me, and it's this guy. this kind of reminds me of like The Lost City with Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock. Like, it just looks like an action movie that my mom would be on board with, if that makes any sense. But I also love David Leitch, so who directed Bullet Train and Deadpool 2.
So I think I'm about to blow your mind because I'm assuming you don't know this. Did you know this is based off an 80s TV series?
So I did not know that before I saw the trailer, but eventually I think my dad told me that it was.
Yeah, starring Lee Majors, the $1 Million Man, as a stuntman bounty hunter guy. Yeah, I remember I used to watch it when I was a kid, and I had the Hot Wheel toys of the brown truck he drove around everywhere. So in the 80s, you had to have a vehicle that they could sell as a toy in your, like in Dukes of Hazzard, they had the General Lee, and the A-Team, they had the black van, and so Fall Guy had like a brown truck, and there was some symbol on the hood. I don't remember what the symbol was.
You just mentioned two cool things and then a brown truck.
The brown truck.
Yeah, I mean, I love Bullet Train. I love Deadpool 2. And I love Ryan Gosling in pretty much anything he's in. So what I think would be really funny, because remember how in Bullet Train there's like a 2-second cameo of Ryan Reynolds? I'd like that to happen again.
Hold on, I'm pulling up an image of the Fall Guy truck. Well, I'm trying to. Where'd it go? Yeah, so I'm intrigued by this movie. I also feel like this trailer goes on way too long and just shows the whole movie.
Sure. But at the same time, this movie, I don't think it's going to surprise us with any like plot twists or anything. I think it really is about the action and the amount of one-liners that Ryan Gosling can give us in 90 minutes.
So, you've got the General Lee, the DeLorean, the Ecto-1, all these classic cars. This was the Fall Guy truck. I mean, how could you not love this truck?
Can you control zoom in on that? Because I can't see it.
Let's see. I don't know if it's letting me. Let me find a different picture. Hold on. I will come back.
But yeah. I mean, I'm excited for it just because I'm also a fan of these kind of movies where it's like like in our world, yes, of course, Ryan Gosling and Henry Cavill, like their action stars, but like the unlikely action star, the wrong place, wrong time action star, that is really brown.
I told you. There's like an eagle on the hood that says Fall Guy across it or something. Come on.
So this was like his
classic car.
This was his selling point.
Yeah. This truck. I mean, they sold Hot Wheels of it. I remember having a Hot Wheel of it as a kid.
Well, I'm excited for the movie.
I wondered if the truck. I mean, the poster you have up has a truck in the poster.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
this has got to be the truck. It has to be.
I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it looks fun.
Yeah.
And for all of my boys out there, this is a new Literally Me identity that we can have.
There we go. What is next? Furiosa.
We got an Oscar. We got an Oscar winner right here. I'm telling you. I'm not joking. Like, I think this looks great.
Yeah, Fury Road is a lot of fun. So this is the spin-off movie telling the story of Furiosa.
Yeah. Now, people got to remember that, I mean, Fury Road was nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of competition this year. So, I mean, it'll be like Dune and this,
I mean,
So
I'm so excited for this. I am a little sad that we're not getting Charlize Theron again. But I
mhm,
understand that this is a younger version, and I do love Anya Taylor-Joy.
mhm.
Um, and I think Chris Hemsworth playing Immortan Joe is going to be so cool. um, I'm really excited for this. I love Mad Max.
Yeah,
Let me rephrase that. I love 2 of the 4 movies. So
yeah.
I'm excited. Did you ever play the video game?
I have not. No, I
So,
haven't.
uh, are you aware of the video game?
I don't think so.
So, whenever Arkham City came out, it was such a
Hmm.
popular game that they wanted to keep using that engine. And so you have like a Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, which have like the same combat system as Batman. Well, the Mad Max game also runs on that engine with the same flow state combat system. So they have an Arkham City style Mad Max game that's really good. And you customize the V8 and everything. It's the Interceptor.
Cool.
What do you think George Miller's Justice League would have been like? I always forget that he was going to do that.
Huh.
Did you not
What
know
else
about
is
that?
he? Yeah, I remember he was on the list. What else has he done besides Mad Max?
I want to. It's something really weird. I can't think of it. I'm gonna look this up really quick, but I know it was really weird. Um, Happy Feet.
Yeah, so it's hard to tell. I mean, I'm sure it would have been crazy action scenes, but most of his movies are post-apocalyptic, so it's hard to tell what Justice League would have looked like.
Yeah, he
We
has done
know we
Mad
know
Max. He has done
Happy
Happy
Feet's
Feet.
such a post-apocalyptic movie. It's really hard to tell.
Oh my god, this is amazing. Okay, so he did Happy Feet in 2006, and that was his
Mhm.
last movie for 5 years. He took 5 years to make his next movie. Do you know what movie that was?
I do not.
It was Happy Feet 2.
Oh, okay.
So like he takes a 5 year break and comes back with Happy Feet 2.
Keep them
Uh,
waiting.
and then Fury Road is 2015.
Yeah.
He had a movie come out in 2022. I didn't know that. 3,000 Years of Longing.
Oh, that's a weird. That's the genie movie with what's his name? The guy from Heimdall. What's his name?
Idris Elba.
Yeah, that looks like a. Okay, yeah, I have no idea what his Justice League would look like after you said that. You may
I
have
want
dodged a bullet
I,
there.
I want to say that Clive Owen was going to be Batman. I think that's what it was. And Common was going to be Jon Stewart. Oh man, George Miller's a weird guy. All right, why are we talking about this? You put this on here.
The trailer. Garfield's a weird character. I remember reading a lot of Garfield books when I was a kid, thinking it was hilarious, and then I got older and go, "This is just the same joke over and over." There's some decent animated specials, but Garfield has been really phoning it in for the last 40 years, 50 years, however long this has been going on. Have you seen the trailer for this or no?
I have.
It looks like it might actually have some heart to it. Actually, might be a little sad. I can't tell. But
We have a
it
film
is,
where Sam Jackson plays Chris Pratt's dad. I want you to think about that.
yeah. I mean, it's just mirroring real life. They don't talk about it, but they yeah.
The funniest thing to come out of Garfield since his inception is the cat has your pipe. Have you seen that video?
I've seen I've seen those videos. It's been a long time, but yeah.
Like the I care. I think it's like Drew Barrymore's brother or something who hosts it.
Are you talking about Lasagna Cat?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen all those.
where they spend an hour talking about one 4-panel comic.
Yes.
That's the funniest thing to come out of Garfield is
that and the
video.
joke from Zombieland. Bill Murray's joke from Zombieland when he's dying. He says, "What's your one regret?" And he says, "Garfield."
You know what's funny is that's his regret, but also whenever I see anything Garfield, like I hear his voice.
Well, yeah, Lorenzo Music sounded a lot like Bill Murray. So when I was a kid, I thought it was Bill Murray, but it's Lorenzo Music.
And now we're getting Chris Pratt, who is known for his vocal range.
Amazing voice work. He can voice any character. He is the man of 1,000 voices. It's incredible. I have never. I mean, it'll blow your mind.
A man with 1,000 voices.
He's the modern day Mel Blanc. Yeah, he's the modern day Mel Blanc from who did all the Looney Tune voices or most of them.
Oh my god,
Chris Pratt. Just
a
treasure.
I wonder who they're going to get to play Odie.
Well, Odie historically doesn't talk, so I hope they keep that. You'll see.
Oh man, it's Charlie Day.
And Jack Black as John Arbuckle.
Oh my god. Oh, I saw a fan cast of the Koopalings, where they get a bunch of rockers.
I was about to say it better be all rock stars, yeah.
So like someone said Adam Devine as Bowser Jr. and I'm kind of on board with that because like he can sing, but like he's not a rocker. He's like a wannabe, and it's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that I loved, Morton and Roy, would be played by Kyle Gass and Dave Grohl. I'm like, I want that.
Yeah. Oh, Garfield. Have you ever seen the weird comic strip where Garfield wakes up, everybody's gone, it's implied that everybody died and he's the only one left and he's gonna die alone and all that. And he wakes up and it's just a nightmare. It's really weird.
This is a 4-panel?
No, it went on the whole week of the comic strip, just every day him looking for more people, and it got more and more dark, and like he's like starving to death because someone's gonna feed him. And then on the final Saturday panel, it's like, oh nope, it was a dream. Haha. And it's like, what the heck was that?
Yeah, I just prefer the cat has your pipe. Where's Garfield? That's my friend actually has a T-shirt of that where it's like it's the friend who we show the Marvel movies to. He's in a band, and for every show he wears that T-shirt.
Nice. I still like the Lasagna Cat videos where they're doing Miami Vice with Garfield and Odie.
Yeah.
And they keep calling Jim Davis's house and hanging up.
Okay. So fun fact: I have only seen 2 Planet of the Apes films.
You hurt me, Caleb.
That is the Mark Wahlberg one.
Oh, Caleb. No.
And the James Franco one, The Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
The James Franco one's great.
Yeah, I love that one. I didn't watch the other 2 though, and I kind of want to.
I've seen the first 2 of that trilogy. I have not seen part 3 for whatever reason.
So those 2, so the first one, I don't know who directs it, but the next 2 are directed by Matt Reeves, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm sure it's great then. So this one is interesting.
But getting back to Planet of the Apes, I'm like, I like all of them.
Okay.
I mean, except for Mark Wahlberg, that one doesn't count. But like the old Charlton Heston ones and all those.
I was a kid when I saw Mark Wahlberg kiss a monkey.
Yeah,
it was very weird. Did that happen in the original?
I want to say yes. It's been
so that was accurate.
I feel like if I type in Charlton Heston kissing a monkey, it will.
You're in Texas. You might want to be careful.
Yeah, I might get on the list. I'm sure I'm already on several lists. Charlton Heston kisses monkey. Yes, where she kisses him goodbye. That's right.
So
Yep.
that's the one thing in that film that was like accurate. Ew.
The original Planet of the Apes is awesome. Second one is weird. The third one's pretty great. And the fourth one is pretty weird, and the fifth one's really weird. They they almost have like
The
the
Star
Star
Trek
Trek
effect.
movie curse where it's even odd, even odd. Um, they were doing that for a while, and then it falls apart. But the new ones are great. So I'm really looking forward to what this is, and can they keep it going? I hope so because this is a great
So
franchise.
do you know
It
why
is
I'm
now
keeping
owned
an eye
by
on this?
Disney, though, huh?
Do you know why I'm keeping an eye on this one?
Why?
Do you know who's directing this?
I'm sure I've already forgotten who it was. Who?
Wes Ball.
Who was that?
He is known for his work on the Maze Runner series,
Okay.
and he is directing the Zelda movie.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm keeping an eye on this movie, because I feel like if anything has a Breath of the Wild feel, it has to
Mm-hmm.
be this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is good, I think we're in pretty good shape for a Zelda movie.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we shall see on that Zelda movie. That's still a ways away.
Yeah, but that's why so you have this on your list because you like the
Apes.
franchise.
Yeah.
I have this on my list because this is like, all right, man, you got the rights to Zelda, you get the reins. Show me what you got.
Yeah.
Now this is Caesar's like son or something.
I think it's a few hundred years later. So I mean, we're going way down the rabbit hole, like into the
So
future.
so out of all the Planet of the Apes movies, was Rise of the Planet of the Apes the weird one because it was majority humans?
Um. Yeah. I mean, it definitely has more human. Well, no, I don't. I can't say that because the third one, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, they travel back in time to the 80s. The apes do and escape the destruction of the planet. So it's three monkeys, and they become like celebrities. And and
And you said this is the great one?
no, this is. But yeah, this is a good one where the apes become like celebrities, and they start getting hunted by Victor from Young and the Restless. It's
He's
good
still
times.
on it, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure he is. He's
I
like
was I
100
was
years old.
I was over at Mama's,
Hmm.
and you know how she watches it every day for like the past 40 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's still on it.
yeah. He was on the Titanic also. Yeah, yeah. He was in the movie and on the Titanic both. That's how old he is.
He was their advisor. No, that's not what happened. Okay, I'm excited for this just because I'm excited to see what West Ball can bring. Plus, um, I don't know, this just visually, this movie looks really cool.
Yep.
All right, this one I had no idea about until you sent this. The Watchers. This is M. Night Shyamalan's daughter.
Okay, so you know more about than I do.
Oh, okay, okay. So I just looked it up and I saw this was a Shyamalan film, but
Uh-huh.
it's a hold on, let me um it's a Shyamalan film, but it's an Ishana Night Shyamalan film.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I just put it on there because it was M. Night Shyamalan, but it's not. It's his. Okay.
But it's his daughter.
Interesting. Okay, I looked
Um,
right over that.
28-year-old artist Mina gets stranded in an expansive, untouched forest in Western Ireland. Upon finding shelter, she unknowingly becomes trapped alongside three strangers who are watched and stalked by mysterious creatures each night. It sounds like Shyamalan.
Yeah, it's you never know what you're going to give him. M. Night Shyamalan. Most of the time it's crap, but every once in a while he hits one out of the park. So maybe his daughter will have better luck. We shall
What was
see.
Shyamalan? What was Shyamalan's first movie.
M. Night Shyamalan, was it Sixth Sense?
I mean, that's pretty good if your first movie right out of the gate.
Yeah. So I think it was Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and then Signs was his first 3 movies.
No, he directed an independent drama called Praying with Anger. Then he did one called Wide Awake with Dennis Leary.
Okay. What was his first
And then-
studio film? Then probably was Sixth Sense. Yeah.
Wide Awake was Miramax.
Do they really count? I mean, they would release anything.
That's true. So yeah, Sixth Sense was his first. Now apparently, Ishana helped work on Old with her dad, which I didn't see Old. So
I read the spoilers. I usually don't watch movies. I just read the spoilers on Wikipedia and go, okay. Unless it sounds really good, I usually don't watch them.
Did you watch Knock at the Cabin?
No, but I read what they changed from the book and the movie and stuff. I have not actually seen it.
I thought that the movie was pretty good. So like that one I'll call a Shyamalan hit.
Yeah.
And then I genuinely think that Split is his best movie.
Okay, controversial choice. Oh wait, Split's the second one. I'm thinking of the third one.
No, Glass is garbage.
Yeah, Glass is the one I hear is garbage. Yeah.
Oh my god, like I was so excited for it. Yeah, I love Split. Apparently, Shyamalan's got a new movie coming out. It's called Trap, and stars Josh Hartnett.
Where he's trapped in a pizzeria with.
That's Josh Hutcherson.
Hutcherson. Okay, whatever. My joke is ruined.
Josh Hartnett. He's been in a lot of stuff. Nothing like.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. He's not like a. Josh Hartnett is one of those guys who's like an artistic actor. Like he's not gonna take a Marvel movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. But as far as Wikipedia, we know nothing about this film except that it's coming out August 2nd of 2024. Wait, is he going up against his own daughter? That's amazing. Because
hers will be in June. It's far enough apart.
Yeah, but that's still
we're mainly talking about the first half of the year. There's some that get to later half. We'll probably revisit this like in June or July because we'll have a better idea what's coming out the second half of the year.
Yeah. But so what drew you to this movie? Like, did you know Shyamalan's name was on it?
Yeah, I was just going through Wikipedia, just clicking each one, see what their synopses were, and if it sounded interesting, it went on the list. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, it definitely sounds interesting, and honestly, even more interesting because it's not Shyamalan, it's his daughter.
Very cool.
All right. I'm so excited for Ballerina. This isn't. There's some of these where I had to get like a fan made poster, and so this is a fan made poster. Okay. But I love the John Wick movies. I love Ana de Armas. So this
I haven't seen John Wick 3 or 4 yet. So I just assumed that it's all been great, and so more John Wick spinoffs. We're good. So
you didn't see The Continental either, did you?
No, I haven't seen Continental.
That's also really good.
Okay. I did see Violent Night, which I think is by the John Wick creators or one of the creators.
I didn't see that. How was that?
It's pretty good. I would have probably done Santa Claus a little bit differently, but it's pretty good.
Did you see Nobody with Bob Odenkirk?
Yes.
I love that movie.
That's a lot of fun.
So yeah, I am very curious. I'm curious if ballerina is literal, because this is a fan poster about a movie we know basically nothing about, and so they went literal with the ballerina thing. I wonder if like she's literally a ballerina.
Hard to say. I mean, you could call Black Widow a ballerina,
Yeah.
that she. So it's really hard to say what's going to be.
But as far as Anna de Armas as a action star, she was great in her scene in No Time to Die. I loved.
Is this the girl from Blade Runner 2049?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ghosted with Chris Evans as well. That was a horrible movie. And let's see. She's also you would also know her from Knives Out. She was the main character of Knives Out. And then she did one more. Oh, she was in The Gray Man with Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans, and that was a great movie, and she was great in it. So
I didn't have the best introduction to her because Knives Out was the first movie I saw of her, and she just kept throwing up everywhere. So that's not always the best. Oh, she's hot. Okay.
Oh man, I gotta be honest. Like, I don't need to hear Scarlett Johansson say her own name over and over again. I could listen to Anna de Armas say her name over and over again, just on loop. There's actually a YouTube video. It's really funny. Fun fact. Her first English-speaking movie was War Dogs with Miles Teller. And she did not know how to speak English. She just said the words.
So she just phonetically read the script or whatever.
Yeah. So that's interesting. But now, obviously, she knows how to speak English.
Cool.
And
bad props to anybody that learns a second language. I can't do it. So
I'm taking Duolingo, but it's hard, man.
Yeah.
And the bird scares me.
Oh yeah, he's terrifying.
Do we know when this one's coming out? Is this one of those that like we don't know when it's coming out? We just know it's coming out this year.
It was on the list. It had a date. I don't remember. I want to say it was like May or June. I want to say
June 7th.
Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting. So this one is actually not being directed by Chad Stahelski, who does the other John Wick movies. This one is actually being done by Len Wiseman, who did the Underworld movies.
Okay.
And I love those movies.
And I have not seen the Underworld movies, but I'm quite aware of the action scenes in them. So, yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least we know that he can do female action, which it is a bit different than male action. So that's fun. So what do we got next? Oh, hey. I gotta be honest. Just based on Pixar's track record is the only reason why I'm not excited for this movie. Like, I should be excited for this movie, and I'm not, because Pixar has not been consistent since 2015.
Yeah, Pixar is a mess, and Bob Iger has said that, Lightyear wasn't good, or what was some other, or what was the one that came out last year? Elemental.
Elemental was apparently the sleeper hit.
That's the spin on it. I don't know. My son liked it, but he's got bad taste in movies. So
which son?
The oldest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Listen, I watched The Mandalorian with him one episode, and like he would walk out of the room if Grogu wasn't on the screen.
Yeah.
He was worse than my mom.
Yeah, he was very upset after seeing Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because of what happened. So, yeah. So anyhow, what I was saying though, Bob Iger said, "Oh yeah, well, a lot of our newer writer directors, they're still learning the ropes. So we're gonna put them all in the sequel movies. So anytime there's a sequel coming out now, you're gonna know it's not Pixar's best people on there. They're just putting them on these because they know these will make money and they can learn the ropes, cut their teeth on these."
So, looking at just Pixar's filmography, they had a pretty good run from
Oh,
1995 all the way to 2015.
and you know what happened? They fired John Lasseter. That's why the movie stopped being good.
um, yeah, but
Look at,
even then, like,
but he took a
good,
lot of their creators with him also
yeah,
when he left.
like, so the last good. I'm gonna be nice and say that the last good Pixar movie was Onward. That's me being nice. It's probably Coco, but I'll be nice and say it was Onward. But even then, it's still pretty inconsistent since because like you got 2015, you got Inside Out, and we'll say that was like the end of the 20-year reign of Pixar. Did you ever see The Good Dinosaur?
No, my
I
son
did.
loves it.
Which one?
The oldest.
We need to get your youngest son's gauge on these films. I feel like I feel like he has impeccable taste and would probably love like foreign films.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Like your youngest seems like the one who would like go on Reddit and be like, "Madame." um, did you see Finding Dory?
Yeah, it was okay. It was not as good as
Okay.
Finding Nemo, but
I haven't seen that one either.
that one seems to be more. I gotta say, it's politically correct. This is more about dealing with people with special needs, is what the message of that movie seems to be.
Okay.
And it's a lot about, yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. It's a lot of different characters that all have different
Yeah,
areas
yeah,
per weekend,
definitely.
and it's about helping them and using everybody's abilities, and on those types of films. So.
And then after that was Cars 3, which I never saw Cars 3 because the first two sucked. But
Yeah.
apparently this one's actually pretty good because it's actually a sports movie for once.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I haven't seen it either.
Coco is phenomenal. I mean, like that's just
Oh
great.
yeah.
Incredibles 2 was incredibly bad.
I haven't. I think Coco is probably the last Pixar movie I have seen.
Did you not see Onward?
No.
I thought it was okay. After Incredibles 2 was Toy Story 4, which I didn't see because I didn't care. I mean, Toy Story 3 is the end. That's all I need.
Yep.
And
yep.
then I saw Onward, because that Onward was like that was March 6th, 2020.
Came out the worst weekend possible.
And so we needed something to watch, so we watched Onward. I thought it was okay. I liked it. And I didn't see anything past that.
And it's sad because I used to be like Pixar's biggest cheerleader. Like I was like, Pixar is the best company ever. And
I don't know. Soul might be cool. I like jazz and I like
my oldest son really likes it.
I have no idea what Luca is. I just know that I make the Luca these nuts in your face joke all the time.
I've heard Luca's actually okay, but I have not seen it.
Turning Red is just not for me. Like right. I am a grown man, and so I'm the complete opposite of their demographic for that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And
Lightyear's
yeah. Who knows about Lightyear? And then maybe Elemental's good. Who knows? So yeah, Inside Out 2. It's what I wanted because obviously Inside Out 2 should be about puberty, but I just don't trust them.
Yeah.
Also, they changed some of the voice actors.
Yeah. And
Like,
I wonder if that's because they didn't want to come back, or if it's for political reasons. Pixar has a really big deal about not letting certain people voice. Like they kicked Tim Allen out of Lightyear and all that. So
so I mean, it would be weird because the two people who aren't coming back are Fear and Disgust, Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling. I'd be surprised if Bill
yeah,
Hader and Mindy Kaling had like surprisingly like they don't seem like the ones to like ruffle any feathers.
yeah, they probably saw the script and they're like, yeah, we're out.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? Since Inside Out, Bill Hader has actually become a serious actor with Barry. So there's that too.
And Mindy Kaling is now attached to the Velma movie. Maybe Disney wants nothing to do with Mindy Kaling.
Yeah.
Or the Velma series, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Which they're being replaced by Tony Hale, who was Buster in
Yeah. Arrested Development.
and then Arrested Development, and then Liza Lapira, who looks like she's done a lot of bit stuff.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, just lots of recurring roles. So yeah, Disgust will not be an important character in this film.
That could be other thing. Maybe their roles are so small, they're like, yeah, this isn't worth coming back for this.
That's true. And right now, all we know is Anxiety is because they've got 4 new ones, but the only one that we know so far is Anxiety, and Anxiety is being played by Maya Hawke. So,
Okay.
all right.
What is next?
What is next? I don't remember. Hold on. Oh my god.
Twisters.
Aliens, Predators.
Well, the reason the title Alien and Aliens works is in the first movie there was one alien, and in the second movie there's multiple aliens.
Yeah,
In the first Twister movie there was multiple twisters, so this doesn't work.
Maybe it's 2 at the same time.
Okay, yeah,
maybe it's 2 sentient twisters that are fighting.
Maybe it's multiple cows this time.
Oh man, who's in this movie? Who can you want me to tell you another thing? Ready for this?
What's
I
that?
never seen Twister.
Twister is it's not like the greatest movie, but it's a fine popcorn film.
Who we got? We got Helen Hunt, Bill Paxton, Carrie Elways. These people aren't coming back, definitely.
No.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. Half these people are dead.
Yeah. This is where the joke is from about they're storm chasers, and there's an evil group of storm chasers all driving like black SUVs led by Carrie Elway. So there used to be a joke on IGN about oh shoot, what was the dog sled movie a long time ago?
8 Below?
No, it was like a Disney, like a Cuba Gooding Jr. with the dog sled movie. What was that movie?
Was that not 8 Below?
Come back to me. Go ahead and talk. What were you gonna say?
Dude,
Snow Dogs.
Okay, I was about to say, dude, I don't have anything to say about Twisters.
Snow Dogs was about a guy from New York suddenly ending up in the Arctic and having to lead a dog sled team. Like, oh, fish out of water comedy story. So there was a running gag that Snow Dogs 2, Snow Harder was going to be about him versus a rival Snow Dog team led by Carrie Eldway of Evil Dogs. It's just a spoof of Twister.
So in Twister, Carrie Elways is the bad guy.
Yeah.
And does he cause the Twisters or something?
No, he just won't listen to them. They're like, we looked at the data, don't go, it's too dangerous. They're like, whatever, and they drive out, they all get killed. Wait, they're like more the corporate weather chasers, and the Bill Paxton, Helen Hunt are kind of like more the hippie, we gotta trust the science, and a Twister killed my mom, and stolen papers.
A twister killed my mom, and I want vengeance.
No, not even that. They're just it's an okay. It's like I said, it's a fine. It's cool to see on the big screen. The twisters on the big screen are really cool.
So Carrie Elwes was like Walter Peck in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, just kind of a jerk, and
it's true. This man has no dick.
Yeah, it is true. It's very true.
Oh man, that's my favorite line in that whole movie. Yeah.
So, yeah.
If you've got more to say, go ahead. But I have nothing.
This could be our $1 billion movie, Twisters. This could be one of those ones that just people just go to see over and over. Like, oh my gosh, did you see those tornadoes? It was awesome.
Maybe this is the one that all of like the Zoomers go see in their suits. Like this is the new Minions movie. Oh my god. What's after this? What we got? I thought I fixed this. Oh, Beetlejuice. Hey, you want to hear something?
You've never seen Beetlejuice?
I've never seen Beetlejuice.
Oh, Caleb. I mean, you weren't alive when it came out. I have to, that's fine. You weren't alive.
So,
I can forgive that.
I will say that I have seen the majority of Beetlejuice.
Okay, that's fine.
Like just flipping through TV and whatnot. But
yeah, I've seen the majority of Die Hard. I haven't sat down and watched it beginning to end. It's fine. I get it.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you I couldn't tell you the plot. I couldn't tell you how it ends, but I feel like I've seen it on TV.
And the thing about Beetlejuice is he's in the movie, but he's hardly in it. It's not really about him. It's about Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin. So
two names that you don't really hear anymore. Well, you hear Alec Baldwin's name.
I'm about to say you hear Alec Baldwin, not in good news, but you hear his name. Gina Davis has kind of disappeared. That's a whole nother conversation.
Is that by choice?
No, I was gonna go on to a rant about how Hollywood is sexist against female actresses as they get older. They get less work.
Oh, yeah, absolutely they are. Like if you're not Meryl Streep, you're not gonna get in a movie.
Or what's her name? Helen Mirren or whatever.
Helen Mirren.
Yeah. This is interesting because they tried to make a Beetlejuice 2 for years called Beetlejuice in Hawaii, and it never got together. So I don't know what this one's going to be about. I do know that Willem Dafoe apparently spoiled this movie online, but I haven't read his spoilers. I'm trying to avoid them. So there are definitely spoilers.
Like on purpose?
No, he like slipped up in an interview and Tim Burton got mad at him or something. I don't know. Like I said, I'm avoiding those spoilers.
You got me curious. Like,
well, don't spoil it for me.
I won't. I got to see like how.
Michael Keaton famously spoiled the live-action Batman movie when he was in it on, I think it was The Tonight Show or Arsenio Hall or something. He was like, yeah, the Joker's enemy. He killed my parents. He went, oh, and he stopped because he wasn't supposed to say that Joker was the one who killed his parents.
I mean, shout outs to Tom Holland.
Oh, yeah, Tom Holland, the king of...
So it looks like that Dafoe just revealed what his role is in the movie.
Okay, all right.
It sounds really funny, though. I won't say it.
Okay, cool. So yeah,
do we know anything
excited for this movie? I do not, other than Michael Keaton's back and who's in it. That's all I know.
So like we don't know, like is Jenna Ortega is Winona Ryder's daughter or something?
I think so. Yeah, I think I do that. But other than that, that's all I know. What's funny is at the end of Beetlejuice, he's in the waiting room of the dead, and he has like this really long, like this, like take a number, and his number's like 1 million, blah 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 blah. And they're like, now serving 5. So it'd be funny if that's how the movie starts. They're finally getting to his number.
That'd be funny. Okay. Let's see. Borderlands. This is one of those that's probably coming out. I was August 9th. Yeah. I like the Borderlands games, and we're doing pretty well as far as video game adaptations. So I'm kind of excited for this.
I know nothing about Borderlands, so this is all you.
Well, Borderlands is it was like the first looter shooter, where like you would play missions over and over again to get better loot and whatnot. It like kind of like a roguelike, but not exactly. And it's got one of the coolest villains. Handsome Jack is just great, a great villain. And also, this is being directed by Eli Roth. Which, do you know Eli Roth?
Was he Cabin Fever?
So he did direct Cabin Fever. He actually just had a movie come out last year called Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
And he's directed
those are the Hostel movies or something. And
he directed the second. Yeah, he directed the first and second Hostel movies. I feel like he directed some sort of cannibal movie too.
Yeah, Green something.
Green Inferno. Yeah. Which none of these films kind of scream Borderlands to me, so I'm very curious how this goes. My favorite thing he's done was he was Donnie Donowitz in Inglourious Bastards. Did you ever see that movie?
Yes, I have seen that one.
Eli Roth plays the guy with the baseball bat.
Okay. Cool.
The bear Jew.
Yeah.
So that's Eli Roth. Which, fun fact, did you know that was actually supposed to be Adam Sandler, but there were scheduling conflicts?
That's what my brain just said. It wasn't Adam Sandler supposed to be in that movie. Yeah.
So they got Eli Roth to do it in his stead. So yeah, he's mainly known for splatter films. I'm curious if he makes Borderlands a splatter film.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Cool. We're coming up on the 2-hour mark, so let's see what else we got here.
So we've got a new Alien movie coming out next year, Alien Romulus. I'm very excited about it because specifically who's directing it. Are you familiar with this?
I mean, I'm familiar with the Alien brand. I'm not familiar with this movie, though. No.
Okay. So this is just going to be an Alien movie. I don't think that Ridley Scott
Prometheus or anything. Yeah.
No. Yeah, Ridley Scott's like barely involved with this, which is a good sign because but it's going to take place in between Alien and Aliens. That's pretty much all we know about it, but it's being directed by Fede Alvarez, who directed the horror movie Don't Breathe.
Okay.
He also directed the Evil Dead remake. This guy knows horror movies, so I'm very excited for this. Honestly, I think it'd be super cool if this was like an Alien Isolation adaptation, because if it takes place in between 1 and 2, if this is about Amanda Ripley, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, so this is another Disney acquired property. So I mean, Prey was, I heard Prey was good last year. So
Prey was phenomenal. Yeah.
Here's hoping this and Apes will be good. We'll see.
Yeah. So this one I think is going to be more on the line of Prey, because this is another one of those Hulu movies, and Prey was a Hulu movie.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very much similar to that. But yeah, I'm excited.
And hey, if these keep doing well, maybe we'll get that Alita Battle Angel 2. Maybe I don't care if that's a Hulu movie. Go ahead and make it a Hulu
Yeah.
movie. I just want a
Yeah.
sequel.
Hulu movies, low key, are pretty good. People just don't give them a chance.
Yeah.
Because they make like those weird, like Puka or something like that.
Yeah.
They do horror movies really well.
Yeah.
Let's see. Speaking of Ridley Scott, he is doing a movie next year. He's doing a sequel to Gladiator. Were you aware of this one?
I was aware it's coming out. I was never seen Gladiator. I know that's a sin, but
Okay.
that's an interesting cast, though. I'm reading across the bottom there.
Oh yes. So this Gladiator's always had a special place in my heart because famously, your brother Tim has always said that I look like that I look like Joaquin Phoenix, specifically in Gladiator.
That does sound like something he would say.
Yeah. And what's funny is I think we were watching like Signs at the time or something. or no, it wasn't even Signs. It was Book of Eli. Like Joaquin Phoenix wasn't even in it. I have these weird memories of your brother. It's funny.
Yeah.
But so this is going to be taking place, obviously after Gladiator. And so it's going to be about Commodus, Lucius, who was the nephew of Commodus, who Commodus was Joaquin Phoenix's character in the original. Lucius was Spencer Treat Clark's character. He was the kid. And so this is going to be kind of like about him. And we don't really know a whole lot about it. But apparently it's coming out in November. This is being directed by Ridley Scott, who does not have a great recent track record. But it's Gladiator, so I'm interested with where he's going with it. Plus Denzel, Pedro, Jamon Honsu. Joseph Quinn. He was in Stranger Things, right?
I am not sure.
Yeah, he was Eddie.
Yeah, that was the season I haven't seen, so
Gotcha.
I know he was very popular. I don't know anything about him.
Gotcha. And then, oh yes, are you aware of this movie?
I am aware.
I'm excited for this.
That Warner Brothers greenlit this so they could keep the Lord of the Rings rights away from Amazon. This will be an animated film set with continuity to I believe the Peter Jackson films.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that's why they greenlit it. Honestly, Warner Brothers does animation so well with their movies, like the Mortal Kombat movies, the DC movies. I'm surprised they don't just do more of that with their other properties. Like this Lord of the Rings movie, like of course this makes sense with how good their animation is. How has this not been a thing yet? So I'm going to take this at face value and ignore the fact that there is nefarious reasons for this film's existence.
Yeah, and Lord of the Rings has a history of animated films, The Hobbit and the original Lord of the Rings Basque films from way back when. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm excited for this one. I've been excited for this one for probably about a year and a half, which is really funny that they announced this a year and a half ago. And then finally, oh my god, I thought I'd take that out. There's apparently a Prey sequel coming out this year too.
Is this set during World War II?
World War One.
World War One. Okay.
Yeah. This is just a fan made poster. This isn't an actual poster. But Prey, No Man's Land. It's gonna be World War One.
That's a cool idea for a Predator movie.
Yeah. So, and I mean, Dan Trachtenberg has done. I mean, he's 2 for 2 in his directorial movies. because he did 10 Cloverfield Lane and Prey. So we can see if he's 3 for 3. Didn't he do Mortal Kombat Legacy or Mortal Kombat Rebirth?
Was that the web series or?
So web series, but I think he actually directed the Rebirth video, which is the one where like it was all realistic and Johnny Cage died and Baraka had knives surgically put into his arm.
Yeah, I think that was the web series I'm thinking of. Yeah, I think it's the same. Yeah.
But yeah, I think as far as long as Ridley Scott stays away from Alien, I think Alien and Predator are in a really good spot right now.
Yeah.
Ironically, since Disney bought them, we've been getting good stuff. So, or at least good decisions.
Yeah. It's interesting that while Disney seems to be falling apart, their Fox properties seem to be on an upswing. So,
yeah,
we'll see.
And I believe that's yep.
And it's interesting that the things that Disney does not consider a priority, the ones they're ignoring, are the ones that are doing well.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a sign there that, more hands off, less agenda, maybe more success. So
yeah.
So that was our look at mostly the first half of the year film. We did go a little bit past on some of those. Like I said, we'll probably revisit this in June and look at the second half of the year. This is going to be a weird movie year. I can already just tell you.
Yeah. I think this is probably going to be the year of TV shows.
Possibly.
Like next year, we might be watching the Emmys over the Oscars.
Yeah, I don't know, because the writer strike and actor strike is going to affect the TV shows also. So I don't know what all they have done for this year. We might, hopefully we don't get like, because last time there was a major writer strike, we had the kind of like reality shows everywhere. So I don't know if we're gonna have something similar,
and
or
also,
maybe this.
Also, Heroes got bad.
Yeah. So hopefully they learned lessons since that first writer strike, but who knows? So yeah. Next week, what's on the schedule for next week, Caleb? Is it the cartoon episode?
Finally, yes.
Okay, so weirdly enough, I was on my other podcast with my brother Friday night, and they did, let's talk about forgotten cartoons from the 90s. I'm like, oh, that sounds familiar. So yeah, we will definitely be talking about that. That's, if you want to look that up, that's Louisville's Best Podcast I do with my brother and some friends from high school. Other than that, I think that's it. So yeah, next week we'll be talking about some of our favorite cartoons that people just don't talk about anymore. They've just kind of gone away. So that'll be a lot of fun. But until that next time, I'm Final Monkey.
And I'm Caleb.
We'll catch you next time in the Shark Pond.
See ya.